On this edition of West Coast Sporting Journal, I'll be flying into the Great Bear Rainforest region of British Columbia in search of silver salmon on the fly, utilizing dry lines in the shallow kelp-filled shorelines of Rivers Inlet. My destination will be a floating lodge called Legacy Lodge, moored in Pendleton Bay, in one of the truly last unspoiled bastions for wild salmon and wild river ecosystems in British Columbia that is government and First Nations protected within this over 200-mile stretch of pristine British Columbia coastline. Join me today, subsurface dryline fly fishing for salmon on this edition of West Coast Sporting Journal.
Fishing those kelp lines, real tight, little pockets. There they are, right there. The really nice thing about the floating line is because it's floating, you get that gorgeous line drag in the ocean. So when that fish does its about 180, that line just helps you, the drag in it. Oh, I don't know. This might be the coolest fishing ever. Unbelievable. This isn't a small fish either. I think that's one of the great things about fly fishing. Oh my, this is just another beautiful fish. See, it isn't, I should correct, it's really not the small coho that are hiding in here. It is the bigger fish, 8, 9, 10, 15, 17-pound coho. I guess they get older and smarter, and where those other smaller coho are out there smash feeding, competing for the bait, the big ones must figure out, you know, I'll just hang here for a while. This is 7-Eleven, and the food's gonna be there. Okay, let's get you in. And what's amazing, this is the third fish in 3 days I've pulled from the same location. So the choice locations that you find, oh man, that's beautiful. Big ambush predatory coho, tight into the kelp. Aren't they beautiful? Wow, aren't they amazing fish? Big northerns in the kelp, unbelievable. You're well behaved. There you go. Saltwater fly fishing. Incredible. We're using just a little sparse clouser. This has been my #1 clouser for this season. Weighted, red and black medium eyes, saltwater hook. You can see the Duncan loop we talk about so much. Give that fly articulation, but you'll notice that leader. Now this line we've been using is quite incredible. We're fishing an XI3 8 weight, which is just beautiful for the battle privilege on these fish. This is a Cortland Trout Boss. It's called Weight Forward 8. You notice all the leaders you buy now and fly lines have loop-to-loop connections. Makes it so much easier for fly fishing. You don't have to tie those nail knots. This is a tapered leader. The mast of this got about a 25 butt section, and the leader tapers down. It's about a 10-foot leader, or 12 that I've cut back to about 8, so that I can get a little bit more turnover. You see the thick diameter in that line? This being the thicker portion to the thinner portion. I want to make sure that I'm getting some turnover just to help cast that little bit heavier fly.
I hope you've enjoyed a look at the pristine inshore salt waters of the Great Bear Rainforest for salmon on the fly. There is a real sense of accomplishment and excitement fly fishing salt waters with dry lines for salmon, especially when targeting individual salmon waiting to ambush feed in the shallow, tight inshore kelp-filled bays. I hope we all continue to protect the Great Bear Rainforest region, as well as finding more potential British Columbia coastline we can protect that has the unique ecosystems with wild rivers and streams that are still intact and pristine. imperative for wild salmon to thrive. Thanks for watching. I'm Mark Pendleton. I'll see you next week for another edition of West Coast Sporting Journal.